Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Spiffing Brit. Today you find me in the glorious game of Dungeon Clawler. It's a game that I've absolutely loved watching other YouTubers play, and eventually I decided, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to play it myself, but of course not the way that the developers intended. For you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is an early access demo, so I'm going to break it. This is because I am the Spiffing Brit, YouTube's professional video game exploiter. Absolutely no game can survive my abilities. So let's start a brand new run today. But before we defeat this impossible game, I should introduce today's sponsor, New World Eternum. New World Eternum is now live in an open beta for this weekend, and you can play it on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC ahead of its launch on the 15th of October. It features glorious PvE and PvP gameplay with a fantastic mix of combat styles, from swords, sorcery, and my personal favorite, muskets. Oh, and thanks to an extensive customization system, you can even dress up as a glorious British gentleman and trample through the lands with your big old boomstick. Speaking of which, there is a massive and beautiful world to explore, and in this RPG you can do it either solo or cooperatively, thanks to the magic of cross-platform multiplayer. If this sounds like something you're interested in and you're wanting to try out a brand new role-playing game, then hop onto your PC, PS5 or Xbox, and I hope that when you stand across from me on the battlefield, you understand that my musket is the most overpowered item in the game and you never even stood a chance. Anyway, thanks to New World for sponsoring, and back to the video we go. Welcome to the game. This is the map. We simply move along it and have various fights and encounters, until eventually we hit a boss and then climb up the floors. The gameplay is rather simple. I control a massive claw. My deck is comprised of all of these items inside of the machine. For example, these shields provide block and these swords and daggers do damage. And we need these because we're going to be fighting against dastardly evil enemies. No, not the French people, mostly slimes and beasties, all of whom are attempting to end our runs today. And of course, like all good roguelike deck builders, there's a perk system which we can use to stack modifiers and break the game along the way. So let's just pick up some of these items dropped into my claw machine and do some damage. Bam! We hit for 10 damage, we gain 5 block, very nice. But what is this at the top of the screen, I hear you say? This looks a little bit rigid, it's definitely not a claw. Well, because our hero today is Scrappy, we get a special advantage. Our second claw is instead a massive magnet on a chain. So instead of using a claspy claw and grabbing items like a pleb, we instead use the power of magnetism to just scoop up any nearby metal items and dump them into the machine. This is very useful considering all of our swords and daggers are of course made of metal. So we're just going to pick up all of this metally goodness and do some damage. And with our first fight complete, we can pick our reward. This is going to be added into our deck and eventually dropped into the machine. We can of course see some glorious synergies here already. For example, a golden dagger that does more damage if you have more money. But no, this gold build is meaningless. I want to ascend into godhood, which is why I'm going to be grabbing the strength potion. This is going to become the pillar of game breaking for us today. Think of this strength potion as a refreshing cup of Yorkshire tea. By merely consuming this beverage, our strength statistic is doubled, which in a game where the entire purpose is pummeling your opponent, that's a very good thing indeed. Now, with the strength potion secured, you might be questioning my sanity, because this item can only be used once in a battle and it doubles your strength. And of course you might notice that my strength is currently 0, which when doubled is still 0, yeah. That's a little bit of a problem. But give it time, ladies and gentlemen, and we shall become even more powerful than the game can physically comprehend. Goodbye, Mr. Planty Slime, you've been defeated, right, lovely. Oh, and fantastic, we get our first choice of perk here. Now, the way this works is we have to spin a lovely machine and we get to pick a reward. Luckily for us, we have been bestowed with the power of the Berserker, which means we gain 1 strength every time we take damage. Now, that's actually pretty good for the start of our build, but generally not good for the long term. You don't want to be taking damage in this game. If you do, you will die. Oh my goodness, we have to fight against these evil lava slimes. They're very pesky indeed. Oh, we're going to take so much damage here. Well, the good news is we get strength. The bad news is strength is temporary, but lasting health damage, that's forever. Winning this fight is incredibly easy, but I suppose we can demonstrate the power of the strength potion by picking it up now. Oh, I mean, that's what I would say if I could actually pick up the bloody strength potion like I meant to. Oh, dear, oh dear. Look, I might have been a being that has existed for the entire history of the known universe, but that doesn't mean I won't occasionally make a mistake inside of a video game. And if I see a single one of you dastardly coffee drinkers complaining about it in the comment section, protection, I will smite you down with my powers. Still, we eventually get to pick up our strength potion, and of course it doesn't matter because the slime has already been killed before I could even drink it. Okay, fine. Now we must face the first boss of the game. We haven't broken anything so far, and this fight is pretty darn simple. Our enemy here is going to be a little bit of a prick. He tends to buff himself with thorns, which mean that I will be taking damage each time I hit him, which isn't fun at all. Oh my goodness, I got the strength potion! I got the strength potion! Yes, we actually get to use it! Oh, take that. Fantastic! I do believe we're now able to completely finish them off this turn. And there we go, lovely jubbly. Now we have defeated a boss, but there is a problem with this game. Theoretically, it can last infinitely. You can climb as many floors as you like. The problem is, the game scales gold, enemy damage, and enemy health, all based off of how many floors you've cleared. This means that the cost of upgrading and rerolling items even increases, and eventually it will cost more than a fully detached house in central London. This means that the only way to actually survive is to try and hunt down all of the various perks that decrease the cost of these actions. You see, there is an item called Bargain, which decreases the cost of all purchases by 5%. Now, because this is a video game and the developers are very good at planning, if you stack this 5% modifier 20 times, you end up with a minus 100% modifier, meaning you never have to pay for anything ever again. So I'm going to try and spend pretty much all of our money in order to try and reroll every perk we get and secure as many bargain perks as fast as possible. There it is. Oh my goodness, it only took a couple of rolls, and that's good because we're about to run out of all of our money. So fantastic, this reduces the price of all services by 5%, and that's what I like to see. Alright, onwards with our lovely adventure. I'm back and on a significantly better run, and I've managed to get myself 2 pieces of this necessary build I'm going for: the strength potion and the paperclip. Now, the paperclip is quite possibly one of the worst items in the entire game. Unlike the dagger, which does 5 damage, this bad boy does 2. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, if someone walked up to you on the street with a paperclip, you'd hardly see them as a threat. However, there is one advantage. The damage of this weapon is multiplied by the amount of strength. So because we have 5 strength, the paperclip is now doing 10 damage. However, if we deploy our claw and grab this strength potion and double our strength to 10, well, now if we go down and grab that paperclip, this humble bad boy instead does 20 damage. And just like that, this level 2 floor boss has been defeated. All it took was the power of strength and paperclips. So of course we make our way to the blacksmith. And the first thing we're upgrading is our paperclip. The second is our ring of strength, and the third is the strength potion. Now we have a glorious way of ramping into our strength and using it to deal a large amount of damage. Right, we're at the end of floor 3, which means we have another glorious boss fight, and this bad boy has 299 health. My goal is very simple: grab the strength ring and stack it as many times as humanly possible. And then I need to very rapidly triple my strength, so grab that flask. Yes, good, and glorious. Our strength is now up to 36, so my paperclip should be doing a lot more damage. There we go, drop that bad boy down. That's 120 damage from one paperclip alone. Oh, we've got him now. He's dead. Imagine being a Nightmare Cthulhu monster. You can defeat the entire world with just a mere fort, and then some guy just walks up to you with a paperclip, and then somehow he manages to evaporate your entire being. Into the blacksmith I go, which is a wonderful place to be. There we go. We now have 3 upgraded paperclips, which are vastly superior.
A few moments later.
We're pretty much at the end of floor 5. There's just a few more fights that we can optionally choose to do before we take on the final boss of the game. However, our build is starting to get very powerful indeed. We've stuffed as many rings of strength into the system as possible, allowing us to supercharge our paperclips for massive quantities of damage, which hopefully should be enough to deal with the final boss of this game. So the time is finally upon us. Let us face the final boss. It's a weird, TV-headed evil man. Yes, our ultimate foe. Well, unfortunately for them, I do believe I'm able to grab 2 rings of strength as well as a flask to triple my strength up to 21. And now my lovely magnet is going to allow me to, say, pick up all of these lovely paperclips here and yeet them at him for 78 damage each. Pretty spicy indeed. Here we go, with 2 glorious paperclips getting dumped into the machine. We're ready to go. Bam! We've hit him with a huge amount of damage, and that's it. The final boss of the game, defeated. That was honestly incredibly easy. Now, we have beaten the demo of the game, but that's not everything, because we can keep playing, and the game will continue to scale and get harder and harder and harder until it's eventually going to get completely impossible. But as you can see, all of these enemies are getting more powerful. These stabby gators were previously doing 22 damage, now they're doing 27. This is going to continue forever and get more and more dangerous as time goes on, but so will I. Okay, let's get my strength up to 7 and triple it to 21. Grab myself a few of these paper clips as well as a huge amount of money, and just like that, we should be able to stabby, 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 and glorious. And now we're starting to really slim down our deck. We're getting rid of a lot of items that we don't particularly get much use out of. Lots of these small shields, the magnet, this big metal shield, these small swords, basically anything that gets in the way of me just pulling in a bunch of paper clips. Right. Bam! Let's shred all of them. Splendid! Into the boss fight we go. Oh my goodness, this boss is pretty spicy indeed. 531 health. Unfortunately for the boss, I don't intend to play fair at all. No, I shall be being very cheeky. Indeed, by maxing out my strength as fast as possible. We're already up to a very crisp 12, so all I need to do is grab this lovely potion here and triple my strength, and just like that I have 36. Which now means if I grab a few of these paper clips, oh, they do 108 damage each. Don't mind if I do. That's another boss defeated. Oh, here we go. We've got an altar, which I'm pretty sure does duplication. So I'll put my potion of strength on the altar, and there we go. We've got a second one. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's floor 10 time, which means we've got a giga boss to fight. Oh my, this should be easy. My deck has become more advanced and more powerful. We've got more paper clips. We've got more rings of strength. And most importantly, we have 6 potions of tripling our strength. This means that my opening move for this fight is to grab a whole bunch of potions and increase my strength up to 102. That's very nice. Then for the next stage of the fight, it's pretty simple. Yeet in a few paper clips and one-hit the boss before they even get a turn. Fantastic. Now we must quite simply re-roll until we get ourselves another bargain. And there we go, there it is. Once we've managed to get enough bargains together, well then we're going to be in a situation where we can then endlessly re-roll everything and add the perfect item to our deck every time, which will allow us to create the perfect build. The only thing we actually need to add from this point on is more strength potions. This is because our magnet will always be able to pick up at least 1 or 2 paper clips. So the plan is to literally fill the machine with as many strength potions as possible and make it so that we are guaranteed an infinite quantity of strength and therefore damage, allowing us to one-hit every enemy we run into. So once again, yes, I'll just re-roll over and over and over again until I get a strength potion. And there it is, finally. Okay, we're going to be having to do this quite a lot. I've made my way to floor 20, a lovely position to be in, especially now that we've achieved an infinite quantity of money. My next goal has been to collect perks that boost our starting strength, and so we now begin with 12, which means that if I'm able to get all of these potions, we can increase that up to 648 strength, which is enough to allow my paper clips to do 2,000 damage. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Oh, and thankfully, we can also duplicate one of our strength potions again. Well, now we have 21 strength potions, which is very good. Oh, and of course, because everything is incredibly affordable for us to upgrade, our boring regular strength potions have now all been converted into shiny gold level strength potions. It just costs us 5 gold now, so that's fantastic. Okay, right, after spending 10 hours playing this game, I have created something wonderful. 78 strength potions, 21 paper clips. This is the ultimate deck. For you see, it just fills the entire space of the machine, meaning against the level 30 boss of Mafalda here with 5,000 health, it's pretty good. Mostly because I can just dump strength potions down the side until I hit 2,000 strength and then just one-hit them. My goal is to eventually reach a point where we can just use the claw to nudge items along the top of the machine and just dump them in without even using up a turn. Oh, just like that. Yes, I've knocked in a strength potion before the combat has even started. And okay, fantastic. 170,000 strength now. So that comes up to, yep, 530,000 damage. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the game's having a good time anymore. Floor 35, and I think I'm actually able to do it. The boss has 8,430 health, and I have a claw. I intend to defeat this boss without even ending my turn. Oh my goodness, we did 500 300 million damage. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think we've done pretty well. Just to check it's not a fluke, I'll take a quick shortcut and go fight another boss. Yes, by literally just moving my claw to the right, we can get an infinite quantity of strength before we even end our turn. Oh my goodness, that's up to 12 million. And now if we drop down a single paperclip, well, I don't even know how big that number is. Editor, you're gonna have to put it up on screen, maybe get an AI voice to read it out loud.
The total damage dealt was 3,874,441,094. We get paid in tea.
Well, I would say this game is perfectly balanced, and I have absolutely broken it, which I guess means we're done for today. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video and you drink tea, you've done the right thing and given it a like. However, if your name is Dave and you're a dastardly coffee drinker, well, now's your time to repent, and you can do so by subscribing. If you don't, I'll be sending a paperclip with the power of a nuclear bomb directly to your location. As always, a huge shout out to the wonderful patrons and YouTube channel members who make this all the more possible. I hope you all have a wonderful day, you majestic sausages, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.